Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Pseudos Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is going to be a review over the Universal Yarns Offbeat. This was purchased from the Knit and Coop located in Salem, Virginia. This is 5.25 ounces, 150 grams, 586 yards, or 536 meters. It's classified as a fine weight. I'm not sure exactly if that means a number 2, a light weight number 3. So we're going to go ahead and use my yarn wraps per inch tool to see what it's really classified as in numbers. And it is 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca, and it is so soft. This is in the color Dream On, and you can see here this is the price, $13.50 per cake. And I did get 2 of these. I'm planning on making a baby's blanket. I don't know what stitch I'm using just yet. I'm kind of falling in love with the stitch that I'm using currently to make Brownie Bear sweater with the watermelon sweet roll fruit yarn by Premier. So once I'm done making that, I will post a picture of her wearing it, or maybe even some video with her wearing it. But you guys will see what I made, and I will send that. That's going to be sent in for the bod contest. So this recommends for crochet a 3.75 to a 4.5 millimeter hook. If you're a knitter, it does recommend a 3.5 to a 4 millimeter for 3.5 to 4 millimeter knitting needles. And it is machine wash and cool, tumble dry on low, which is so nice because even though it's got a little bit of alpaca in there, it's still machine washable and dryable. If you really like to take care of your stuff, then you can machine wash and cool and hang or lay flat to dry, or lay it over something to dry out. With summer coming, you can always hang it outside if you've got a clothesline. Just a suggestion. Alright, so this does start in the center, or you can start on the outside, however you prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and see what fine is considered from Universal Yarns. If it's a 2/8, if it's like not a really thick 3, kind of like a mandala. If I didn't pull enough out, we will find out. And I do have a range of hooks to try. This one is the, I don't know, it's probably going to be hard to see, 3.75 millimeter hook. This is from the Susan Bates Twist and Lock. I did get the set where it had the 2 handles, and then all the way from 3.75 up to 6 millimeter crochet heads. And it's really nice because you can undo it and you can hide this if you're not using it. So there's that. It's very nice if you're traveling. You can do that to keep your yarn from getting tangled around it. And then the other part of it is the bottom. You can either put another hook down here inside to hold it, like if you're using 2 different size hooks, or this end came out with a yarn cutter that you can put in here and twist to lock that in place. Let's see, can I get that to lock? It's been a minute since I used these, so 1 second while I get this. Nope, that's not wanting to lock. Let's see, try it with my right hand because I am right-handed. There we go. So if it's locked, it won't, it'll move, but it won't move too much. And then when you're done using it, some people didn't like this feature with this hook set. I think it's great, so you don't have to take a pair of scissors with you as well. I did notice that some yarns are a little bit harder to cut with that tool. So it's on, you know, I'm going to try to, yeah. So I have that one. I have a regular Susan Bates 4mm, there we go, making noise, 4mm crochet hook, a standard hook. And I know this is probably going to be hard to see because it's glaring off my light. Let me see if I can get a closer. And I'm sorry if it's glaring and you can't see, but that is a Susan Bates 4mm crochet hook, the USG. And then I have a 4.5mm inline hook to try. And then I have a 5.0mm hook to try as well. I'm going to try this one if it's closer to if it's more of a lighter 3 weight, but we'll see. And again, I think the hook size all depends on what you're making. If you're making a drapey garment or item, then you're going to want probably a bigger hook, so that way you can get that. I liked that thing, but now it's kind of getting on my nerves there. Yeah, the drapier you want it to look, you would need to probably up your hook size to make sure that you're getting the effect that you're looking for. Now this does look like it's going to be kind of a long self-striping. There are so many different colors in this. So right now it's pulling out the green. Alright. So let's go ahead and count how many wraps we got here. I'm trying not to get it too tight, but also not too loose. So there's a little give. It's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 wraps that I got out of it. Let's see, how many are 11? So 11 is considered a lightweight, 11 to 15. So they're probably classifying it as a fine, which is a number 2. Maybe I wrapped it one too many times, or not enough times. I don't know, but I got 11 out of it. So, I mean, you can classify it however you want. They classify it as a fine, but I really think this is closer to a 3 weight. Or a lightweight, or a DK weight. However, you know, depending on what country you're in, depends on how it's classified. So let's go ahead and start. Actually, let's start with the 4.5. Actually, no, let's see how it looks with the 3.75. I think this is going to be too small of a hook in my opinion, but you know, try it this way, and then the next, we'll try this, and then we'll see what the next size up, the 4mm would look like. 1, 2. Alright, there's 15 starting chains. It's kind of small, but again, it all depends on what you're making with it. Depends on how, you know, how big of the stitch do you want? Do you want it drapey? Do you want it close together? And that will determine what size hook you use for your project that you're working on. I tried to do my sweater pattern one way for Brownie, and I'm sure you guys can hear them eating in the backgrounds because I'm at my dining room table again. This is a lot better for me than at my desk, unfortunately. I will come back and let you guys see my face again in future videos, but right now this is better for me than sitting at my desk with my back issue. So that's why this week you're seeing only my hands and the yarn and hearing me talk in the background. And I'm sorry that, you know, if that upsets you because you can't see my face, but I don't know. I don't think I'll be going to another local yarn shop or store, however you classify an LYS, until the Blue Ridge Virginia Yarn Crawl, which is in a few weekends. Trying to save my money up for that, and hopefully I get to go to more than one store, but we'll see. With my husband traveling and my back issue, I don't think it's gonna be workable to do that right now. And then my parents are coming a week from this coming Monday for a visit, so I don't think I'll get to go to any. And if I do go to a yarn store and I'm able to take video or I purchase anything, I will definitely share with you guys. I'm just saying right now I don't see it being a foreseeable, right this moment, something that will be happening in the next couple weeks with new stops at local yarn stores. Okay, so there's the 3.75. Let me see if you guys can see that. Can you see that down there on my table? I'm trying to make sure I stay in view because I noticed on my review of the deluxe stripes, it wasn't picking up very well. There we go. I kept getting out of view. So there's that one. That's the 3.75 hook. This one's the 4.5. Okay, so let's go up to the 4mm hook and do a row of half doubles. I'll change it each time I do a new one so you guys can see. I'm trying to make sure that I stay in camera here. Oh, hello, half double crystal. I do want to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel. If you're new, welcome. I do go around sharing my travels across the Virginia area currently with all my local yarn store stops, letting you know what they have to offer, if they allow for, you know, out of country or out of state purchasing, where you don't have to go to the store to pick it up. I've only found a couple stores so far that do not do that, but then again, you can always reach out to them, you know, to see if there's any change. And there I go, because I'm talking, any change in their shipping policy. Now, some of them do not have any stores online, like the Knit One Purl 2 in Winchester. Their focus is in store, but if you contact them, if you see something that you would like to get that I had in my video for that store. Now, granted, and I do apologize for this, but that video was basically me taking pictures because we had our 2 girls with us and trying to find parking space. My husband had to pay to park, which is something I'm so not used to. A lot of the cities, especially the downtown areas, have you pay to park in Virginia, which I guess it's okay, but if they use that money for the right reason, that's, you know, that would be nice. I know in downtown Salem they charge, but that my husband knew about. So going to different cities and finding that out, it's kind of, it's not a shocker, but it's like, I wish I would have known it was going to cost money to park. So I tried to be quick at that store, and she said I could take video if I wanted to, but I just took pictures and then did a slide for you guys and talked over it. But if you do go back and you watch that video with Knit One Purl 2, they do only deal with cash. So if you're in the Winchester area and you stop in at that store, make sure that you have cash or you can write a check, because they do not obviously take a credit card. I did wind up going and getting money off my card, my bank card, to pay for my purchase, but she was willing to let me send it in in like a money order or something like that. My husband's like, no, we're just gonna go back and we're just gonna get her the money. And then I wound up getting another skein of something. So that was kind of cool, because I had more than enough to pay for what I got, and then picked up more. Why am I doing that? I am recording this on Thursday night, and I did notice that my new camera that I'm using to do videos in the at my dining room table does timestamp it and give you what date it was recorded. So if you're ever in question of when the video was done, like I tell you guys about a yarn or a sale on a video, you can check to see when I mentioned that if you'd like. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool and kind of annoying at the same time. What do you guys think, that if you've seen those videos where it's got the date and time stamped on them in the upper left corner, I do believe it is. Oh yeah, this is going to be some nice yarn. It's really soft. There is a little, you can definitely tell that there's some type of wool, some type of animal fur in it, but not enough for me to be agitated by it. But if you are sensitive to those things, you may not, may want to give this a pass. But if you've never tried something with alpaca in it, I would highly suggest, trying out at least one, because there's 586 yards in one of these, and I've got 2. So I know I have more than enough to make a baby blanket with it, which is what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in case somebody in my family has another baby, or if I'm going to sell it. I don't know. I like making baby blankets because they're pretty quick to make. They're not too big, and I mean, I know that I made some of them for my grand nieces and nephews that were kind of big, but I figured, well, they can grow into it type of thing. And we haven't heard any new babies coming into the family just yet, which is okay, You think my one niece wants to have children, but I don't know if she will or not. Alright, so there's the 4.5 hook. So the single crochet was using the 3.75. I used the 4.0 millimeter on the half double, and then the doubles were the 4.5. So now, now for triple, I'm going to go ahead and use the 5 millimeter, which might be the one that I use depending on how tight the stitches are together. We'll see though. Alright. I wasn't going to go all the way up to a triple crochet layer or row, but I wanted to test out each one of these hooks, because I honestly think, like I said, depending on what you're doing with the yarn, what you're making with it, you may want to go with a bigger hook than what's recommended for it. And I still can't believe I'm still in the green. When the heck does this change? Okay. That's a pretty long, so if you're into color controlling, this would be a good yarn for color controlling, or making those blankets with the design that's basically, I guess, what they call self-pattern, where if you use the right stitch, you can get it to look like a design. I'm not sure what you would need to use for this one, because you basically see how long the stripes are. I don't know, this might be too long, because you can't have that too long or too short to work out. It's got to be just the right amount of length for those color changes. I know it can't be well, it could be a variegated, but you would need to use like a single crochet stitch. If it's too quick, it won't work at all. And if it's too long, obviously your project's going to be a lot bigger than you want it to be. Because from my understanding, I haven't done this yet, and if you have, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. You basically chain up what you want to chain up for your thing, and then you do whatever stitch you want to do, and then when you get to the point where the repeat of the color starts again, that's where you end. And then you go back and you go back through, and it should line up correctly to make a design. Now I have seen that once or twice on a scarf that I actually didn't do regular crochet. It was Tunisian crochet, the simple stitch, where the pink and red one yarn from Mainstay, you could actually see a design in it. And some of them, like, you know, if you do just a simple stitch, it'll automatically appear. If you do just like a single crochet or the granny stitch, because I've seen it happen where it was on the granny stitch and it has done that too. There is a lady on YouTube, if I can remember her name and find her, I will link her in the description box, of how she goes over doing those types of blankets where you get I think it's like gingham look or something like that. There is a technical name for it, and I just can't think of it right this moment. Alright, so there's triples, doubles, half doubles, and singles down here at the bottom, which are probably kind of hard to see. So if I were to use this in a blanket, I would probably do either the 4.5 or the 5mm crochet hook, because these are still kind of tight. And again, I think this was actually my own fault for being loose because of my own tension when I was holding it between my fingers. But single crochet really tight, I don't know if I like that tight. I mean, I like how tight it is, yes. But then I went up to the 4, and that was still pretty good. You can still see good stitch definition there. And then the double crochet, which was the 4.5mm, still good in my opinion. But then the triple would be, for me, the 5mm would be more if you're looking for a drapey look, an airy look. So let's go ahead. I didn't have any splitting. I do see some splitting here, but I did not have a problem with splitting while crocheting. So it did not get caught up on the yarn. I didn't get caught up on the yarn when I was going through stitches to do a new stitch for the next row. So that was good. Alright, so let's go ahead here and crochet. It's actually doing pretty good. No hiccups. There's always a chance when there's wool or animal fur, or you're seeing that it's splitting, but even though you didn't get caught up on it, it could hang up on you when you go back through. I shouldn't say just wool, because it's animal fur. And not all animal fur, in my opinion, would be wool. It would say wool on the label. So there we go. No hiccups. No snags. This, like I said, this is very soft. I would definitely make a wearable out of it if I was thinking about making a wearable, but right now I am not. This might be a yarn that I go back to the Knit and Coop to pick up more of, maybe in a different color to make a wearable, like a sweater. I'm actually getting into more clothing. I really liked making my one cake cardigan that Ginger did. She just basically gave you the basic information of how to make it, and it was up to you what stitch to use. She did provide you with a stitch, but that didn't mean that you had to use that stitch. Now that I'm making my daughter Brownie a sweater, I'm not gonna be making those all the time for pets, but I will show you guys what I came up with that bod contest. So overall, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, the price was right. I did check on Universal. This is a newer yarn by Universal Yarns, which it took me a while to find it on their website, because when I went back to pick this up, I'm like, are you sure you're going to be able to get any more of this? So like, if I really like it, I know I can go back there to get it, because it only cost me the money for gas to go there, pick it up, instead of ordering it on Universal. Plus I'm, supporting a local yarn shop. So she said yes, it was a new yarn for fall last year. So I don't know if has she added this one to her? I'm pretty sure okay, that was weird. My video stopped recording after 25-ish minutes. So back here, hopefully you guys didn't miss too much. I think it just like went ding when I was talking about this being on the Knit & Coop's website. It is also available on Universal Yarns. So if you're not in the area and you want to order it off of them directly, I will put their link as well as the Knit & Coop's link, so you can choose which way you want to order it. Her pricing was actually pretty good considering most yarns I've seen are hiked up really high compared to what you could get it at directly from the yarn company. This one I think was maybe 50 cents more, or right on the nose with what Universal charges. So if you're in the Salem, Virginia area and you want to try this out, I would highly suggest stopping in there to see what she has to offer for this one. This is way in the back on the left side when you walk in, close to the checkout, and she's got it on display there. Alright, so I was saying that 9 out of 5 was because, or 9 out of 5, yeah, 9 out of 5, 9 out of 10, because this here, fine, it's not a fine, not in my opinion, but then again, everybody has their own opinion. I think it's more of a lightweight 3, because it did stitch up really well, crochet up really well, with using a 4 and a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. But then again, it all depends on what you're using the yarn for. So I hope you all liked today's review. Keep a lookout. I might try to do another video on Saturday to make up for missing Monday, but that all depends on how my back is feeling on Saturday. It'll be after I'm done working Saturday morning, so it may not be out at 9 o'clock when I normally schedule my videos to be released on the channel. So if you liked today's video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe bell and then the notification so you're always aware of when I put new content out. And you can come join me on my local yarn shop trips. Alright, well I hope you all stay safe and stay crafty. Until next time, have a good one.